Hello everybody, welcome to Clary Concepts. So this is the second session of our Engineering Thermodynamics lecture series in English. Today we will be mostly talking about system and their types. Okay, so we will see that what is system, how exactly it is defined, and what are the different types of system that are used in thermodynamics for this study. So in the previous session, we already have discussed what is thermodynamics, and we saw that thermodynamics is a study that has to deal with generation of work or useful work from the heat, and whatever system that can be used to convert heat into work. The study of all the system is dealt by thermodynamics, right? We have also seen that thermodynamics has a very wide spectrum of applications, right from automobile till the aircraft industry, aviation industries. So this actually reflects the importance of our subjects. So, so before studying the system, let us look at the different approaches that is used to study thermodynamics. So there are mainly two approaches. One is microscopic approach, also called statistical approach, and another is macroscopic approach, which is also called as classical approach. So in microscopic approach, normally we try to analyze the behavior of individual molecule. We try to track their position, their velocities, their kinetic energies of individual molecule, and then try to assess the behavior of entire system collectively. Whereas in macroscopic approach, we are not focusing on individual molecules, rather we are focusing on the group of molecules and try to see their average or statistical average behavior. So it's but obvious that microscopic approach is a bit difficult to study because you are tracking each and every molecule over here and their position, velocity and energies. If let me give an example, if you take a spoon and try to fill 18 ml of water into it, 18 ml is just 18 grams. Do you know how many molecule that 18 gram of water will have? It's, you all know what Avogadro number, right? 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. Just look at this, a simple small spoon of water containing 18 ml of water contains this many water molecules, this many H2O molecules. Do you think it is easy to track each and every individual molecules and keep a track of its velocity, position and energy? It's difficult. So statistical approach is difficult when you talk about the human dimension, when you talk about centimeters and meters. But in an area where you are dealing with microfluidics, where the number of molecules you are dealing is limited, in that area this has a very wide application. So this macroscopic approach is only used where the dimensions of the subject is very small and you are dealing with limited number of molecules. But when dealing with the larger molecules, or you can say larger dimension of space, then you always go for macroscopic approach and you try to analyze the behavior of overall system. So one such example is measurement of blood pressure. We are not looking at the interaction of each and every individual blood cells to the veins. We always try to keep a track on what is the average interaction, energy interactions that the blood cell is doing on the veins of the arteries maybe. So this is how blood pressure is measured. So in the entire subject, we mostly will be focusing on macroscopic approach and we will be using macroscopic approach to study thermodynamics and not the microscopic. Okay, so now let us come back to system mainly and we will see what is system. So system can be referred as something which you are interested in, or you can say the interest of your domain or domain of your interest mainly. So it can be either a set of molecules or a fixed quantity of mass. I am interested in this 1 kg of water or 1 kg of oil, whatever it is, or 2 kg of air. It could be either fixed mass or fixed molecules, or it could be a fixed space into the region. And you are focused on that space and you are focused to what is coming to this space and what is going out. So whatever is your area of interest, that is system. And whatever lies outside system, that let's say you have fixed the system, so everything that is outside system is called surrounding, and there is a very thin boundary that separates system to surrounding, and that demarcation or boundary basically is the boundary of between system and surrounding. So let's see by the definition. A system is defined as I said, as a quantity of matter or a region in space. chosen for this study. Either it could be a quantity of matter, fixed quantity of matter, or a fixed region in space. That is system. The mass or region outside the system is called surrounding. So whatever is outside the system, that is surrounding. And the real or imaginary surface that separates system from its surrounding is called a boundary. Okay, we will see all this in the examples. So let us assume that your interest is in what is the temperature of the air within the room, and how exactly the air of the room gets cooled with the help of air conditioning unit. So that is your interest. So your system would be the air contained within the room. That is your system. What is surrounding? Everything outside the room is surrounding. And what is the boundary? The walls of your room is the boundary, right? Similarly, if you see the water heater. So water heater works on the principle that water comes in a form of at lower temperature, and it goes out at a higher temperature. Okay, it takes away the heat exchange. Because of the exchange of the heat, the water gets heated and it goes out. So your intention is to see by what degree Celsius the temperature of water is getting raised from the entrance till it leaves the water heater. So your area of interest is in this region or in this space only. Here you are not focusing on a fixed quantity of matter, but you are focusing on the space. Whatever comes into this space, that is your system, and whatever is outside this space, that is your surrounding, and the boundary of this water heater is your boundary mainly. In a similar way, you take an example of a car radiator. It functions to cool down the coolant, basically a water that is circulated across the IC engine of the car. So hot water enters from one side and cold water leaves from one side, right? So in this process, the heat is exchanged. So atmospheric air takes away the heat. So for you, the system is the space of radiator, okay? And whatever comes into this space, that is your system mainly. This is the region where you are focusing on. And system is not limited to a small or small sized equipments. It could be as large as the entire power plant. So when you are focusing on entire power plant, it could also serve as a system. Let us see what are the different types of system boundaries. Either it could be stationary boundaries or it could be moving boundaries. So if you take an example of a potato and you see that if it is boiled and temperature is, let's say, around 50 degrees centigrade, and you leave it in the atmosphere to cool down, and you see that at what different instance of time what is temperature of the potato. So for you, potato is your system, and this boundary is the boundary of potato, and it is not going to move, it is going to be the same. That's why it is called stationary boundary. On the other hand, if you say that your system is the gas filled in the piece of cylinder arrangement, so the gas is the system, that means the one of the boundary of the system is constantly moving, you can see. So that's why the boundary can also be a moving boundary. On the other hand, the boundaries could be real or imaginary. So if you talk about an example of water filled in a tank, so the walls of the water tank is the physical boundary, or you can say real boundaries, right? So that could be a real boundary. On the other hand, if you talk about the flow through a nozzle and your interest is this area of nozzle, so this blue color line is the actual boundary of this nozzle, that is real boundary, but this black color you can see is the imaginary boundary, because there is no physical restriction, the water can flow across, but your interest is on this much part of the nozzle. That's why this is the virtual boundary, or you can say imaginary boundary. So boundary can be of either of these types: stationary, moving, real, or imaginary. Let us now see, after defining a system, what are the different types of system available in thermodynamics to study, and we will be studying all this one by one in great detail. So the types of system are classified based on how they interact with surrounding. So system can do interaction with surrounding in mainly two different ways. One is with the system can interact with surrounding by mass transfer. So any matter of mass can cross the system boundary, or mass can enter to the system, or mass can leave the system, or it can also interact in form of energy. When I say energy, I am mainly focused about the energy interaction in form of heat and work. So heat can get into the system or can leave the system. Work can enter the system or can leave the system. So depending on what energy interaction and what mass interaction is applicable to a system, the system is categorized into three major parts. called closed system, isolated system, and open system. So let us see what are all these systems. So closed system, mainly the name says it is closed in terms of mass transfer. So a system where energy transfer is applicable or possible in form of heat and work, but mass transfer is restricted. So a system boundary is such that no mass is allowed to cross it. So no mass can enter system, no mass can leave system, but energy can enter and leave in form of heat and work. So that kind of system is called closed system. Okay, let us take an example. So say that a gas field inside a container, piston cylinder. So this are the physical boundary, they are the physical restriction. No mass from outside can enter the system, no gas from a system can leave the boundary and go to surrounding. But if you heat the system from bottom, the heat can enter through the walls. So this kind of system is called a closed system. Then what is open system? Sorry, let us talk about isolated first. What is isolated system? By the word it means it is isolated. It means it is totally, isolated from its surroundings. There is no interaction possible. So you can say when mass or energy, both of them cannot transfer, then this system is called isolated system. So neither mass, neither energy crosses the boundary. So you can take an example of this thermos flask. Okay, you all know that 24-hour hot and cold bottle is considered to be the isolated system. It's not pure isolated, but it is considered to be the isolated system. Then last is open system, and by the word open you clearly understand that both interactions are possible. Even mass can also cross the boundary, also energy in form of heat and work can also cross the boundary. If both are possible, that means such a system is called open system. And an example of this is gear pump. You can see, let us say the boundary of this pump is my system, and constantly the fluid comes in, that means the mass is crossing the boundary and goes out. Also you can see this gear rotates with the help of mechanical work supplied to the shaft. So your boundary is also having the energy interaction in form of work, right? So that's where you can consider this to be the open system. And open system many a times is also known as control volume. So do not confuse in this word. Many a times people call the open system as control volume. So they are one and the same. So let us test your understanding. So you are now asked, let me ask you and identify the system that I will show you over here. So what do you think about this system? So let's say you are keeping a potato to boil. So potato plus water in the cooker, and it has been supplied by the heat energy through the stove. So your system could be the potato plus water, right? So what do you think? Which type of system is this? Closed, open, or isolated? Yes, you can say that since it is closed from all the surfaces, but heat can transfer through the walls. So that's why it is the it is the closed system, because heat interaction is possible, but the mass interaction is not possible. The boiler. In the boiler, constantly you have the supply of cold water, and the steam goes out, right? And you have heat constantly supplied from the bottom, right? So this kind of arrangement or this system, so we are talking about this physical space. So if I draw the boundary to this system, so everything within this red boundary is my system. So can mass cross this boundary? Yes, water is crossing, even steam is crossing. Can energy cross in form of heat? Yes, heat is being added from the surrounding. So this is called open system. What about the hair dryer that you are using? Let me draw the boundary. Think about this, whether the heat can cross this boundary or maybe energy in form of work. Yes, you are supplying the electrical input, so the work can cross this boundary. What about the mass? Yes, the hot air goes out, cold air comes in, so again the mass is crossing. This is again the open system. What about a can of soda kept on the table? Just look at the system. The boundary of the soda can is system. What about the mass transfer? If it is sealed, do you think mass is crossing this soda can? No, it is not crossing. What about the energy? Yes, the heat from outside atmosphere can get into the cold can of soda. So that's why heat interaction is possible, but mass interaction is not possible. That's why the system is called closed system. And there are another system which are used in industry many a times. You talk about heat exchangers. which are used to exchange the heat from a cold fluid to a hot fluid. So again, this is the kind of open system because mass transfer is taking place, heat transfer is taking place. Same way we talk about the steam condenser. This is heavily used in the thermal power plants, right? And I hope you know thermal power plants are used to generate the electricity. So again here you can see the water is crossing the system boundary, the heat is crossing the system boundary. That's why this is again the open system. Same for the pump that we use in household applications. You can see a work input with the help of electricity. You can see a mass transfer with the help of inlet and outlet pipes. So again this is the open system. Same for the air compressor. So in fact there are many applications of this open and closed system in real industry, and we will study all these devices with the help of thermodynamics. So let's summarize the session. We have discussed mainly what is thermodynamics and its applications in the first slide. Then we talk about two approaches of the study, that is microscopic and macroscopic approach. Then we have defined system boundary and surroundings. And then we saw what are the different types of boundaries available, that is stationary boundary, moving boundary, imaginary and real. And then we have a look at what are the different types of system, that is open, closed and isolated. Very much. I hope you understood the basic concept of system and its types. If you like this video, if you understood the concepts, I request you to share this video with maximum of your friends who are in need of this kind of knowledge. Subscribe to our channel for more detail and press the bell icon. Thank you so much.